Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. This is our Survivor Series 2012 review. My name is George Coles. This is my tag team partner, Barry Windham.
Oh, good one. Gary Rhodes, everybody.
And we're going to go ahead, the last night was a Survivor Series pay-per-view. We figure on the main pay-per-views we'll do a review just based on them.
Yeah. Well, we did a pre-show with our predictions, and we're going to, let's see how the standings were.
Yep. The first match tonight was a three-man band versus Cobros, Santino Marella, and Zack Ryder. Now, when we picked it, they were advertising Kid and Gabriel, but we still both picked three-man band.
And we were both correct on that one.
Even though the match was wrong.
Yes. But we got the winners right.
But we did see this as an opportunity for them to push three-man band up as a faction and as a, having a win on the pre-show, which a lot of people watch.
Exactly.
And, we got Paul to thank for three-man band because he wished it into effect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
1, 2,
3!
3 count mark.
Our next match was one that they didn't announce before the show. It was Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, Tyson Kidd, Justin Gabriel, and Brodus Clay
versus Tensai, the Primetime Players, and the Colognes.
How come you got to say the easier one?
Practice, son. This is actually, I was really impressed with the match. I mean, there wasn't...
Other than Clay dumping Tensai on his face?
I was going to get to that. The botch came from somebody that I wasn't expected from. Not to say that Clay wouldn't botch, but usually he don't do a move to botch.
Remember a couple months ago when he wrestled Tensai, he had trouble lifting him up too?
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. Maybe he's just Brodus Clay's maybe not just that strong.
That's what I'm going with.
And I kind of wonder, if you notice, the whole team except for Brodus Clay survived. I wonder if that was his punishment for botching on Tensai.
That could have been. I mean, there's a lot of variables. I think maybe because he just wasn't. He's not getting as over as the other two tag teams. I think they were just trying to let those two shine.
And you know what? I want to go out and I want to say something right now on record. Sin Cara, a guy that we've run up and down the flagpole, been very critical of. He's turned it around. I'm really starting to enjoy his work. I don't know if it's a matter of he's starting to get used to WWE rings, a la Alberto Del Rio, but I want to put it on record. I mean, he's not one of my favorite guys, but he's no longer one of my least favorite guys.
I have to agree with you on that. He ever since putting him with Ray and then having them go against the Cologne so much has really got him used to the ring, I think, and plus also calling moves a lot better.
Yes. Well, it hurts him a lot that he only speaks Spanish at this point. I don't know if he's learning to speak English, but with that, he either has to work with a Spanish-speaking opponent or a Spanish-speaking ref. Or partner, which helps out when you got him with the Colognes or Rey Mysterio. And I think there's a few, Little Nate's Charles Robinson actually speaks Spanish, too.
Yeah. But, the two tag teams went over as far as on the face side, Ray, Cara, Kid and Gabriel, and I was impressed by all four men. I thought they did an excellent job. I mean, Clay was the only one that botched during the match. Really,
I actually was impressed by almost, except for the two big men, I was impressed by everybody else in this match.
Yeah. And this could have been a stepping stone to bring Tensai back into a main event,
which is what I was calling for. Which I thought when they brought him into it, I was like, okay, this is great. Have Tensai crush everybody, and then you can use him as something because the guy Albert Tensai, whatever you want to call him, Matt Bloom. He's not a bad worker.
No, he's not a bad guy. I like to see someone
stuck
that's
in
nice.
A bad gimmick.
I like to see somebody that's in love with the business get over.
Now, the next match tonight was one we actually were on opposite sides on when we predicted it. You picked Eve and I picked Caitlyn. Eve versus Caitlyn. You were right. I was wrong. It was a really good match. Probably the best Diva or Knockouts match of this year, in my opinion.
I have to agree with you, and I don't like agreeing with you too much. But honestly, Eve's really stepped up a lot, and she actually let herself look a lot more vulnerable with Caitlyn instead of just dominating her like she has been.
Did you notice? I didn't notice till somebody pointed it out today that when Eve came to the ring, she was doing the Madison ring wave.
Oh, yeah.
and I guess Madison got wind of it and dissed her on Twitter about it.
She's done it a few times beforehand too. I mean, it's a queen wave. I mean,
yeah, I mean it's nothing really big, but they seem to be taking some stuff from TNA, whether it's directly on purpose or not, which we'll talk about a little bit in a couple segments. Another segment they stole from TNA, but it was a really good Work Divas match. We've got criticized before because we usually gloss over the matches. The reason we do is because they suck.
It depends on the work. If they put a match like this, if every Divas match is a match like this one was, we'd be glad to talk more about them.
Exactly.
But, we don't want to waste your time and ours.
Yeah.
If it's a terrible match, I mean,
and to be honest, there's better female wrestling out there. Shimmer is a promotion that's nothing but female wrestling that puts on great shows. I love their shows. I don't know if you've seen any.
No.
But it's
kind of Glow.
Well, it's Glow with actual workers is basically what it is, and it's where Serena Deeb came from there. Awesome Kong wrestles there. Sarah Del Rey has wrestled there. You know, a ton of your really good indie women are on the show. But coming off of that,
the next match was one of my favorite matches of the night. I don't know if it was yours or not. The United States title match, Cesaro versus R-Truth.
I liked it. I think it could have been better. I don't think it quite got enough time. I think the time on the next segment, some of that time should have been slotted to this match. Because what was it, about a 7-minute match?
Maybe 7 out of 10. I'm so impressed by Cesaro's raw strength. It's just amazing how. Because like I was telling George when he went for that gut wrench move on Truth, I was like, well, let's see how he does it with Truth. Because usually he picks smaller guys up and does it, and Truth and him are about the same size, and he still manhandled Truth like he was a freaking cruiserweight.
Well, he's absolutely a powerhouse. He doesn't have a John Cena Ryback build or anything close to that, but the guy, I think he's more built like Rick Rude was.
Yeah, just straight brute strength, and I look for a lot more out of this guy.
Oh yeah.
I can't talk more about him.
I think he's one of the people that are the future of the WWE, in my opinion. I absolutely love him. I loved his work in Ring of Honor. I loved his work when he wrestled all over the Indies in Combat Zone,
You're still
different places.
waiting for the move, though, ain't you?
Oh, the UFO. Look it up. Go on YouTube. Look up Antonio Cesaro. Claudio Castagnoli was his name, doing the UFO. The most impressive one was the one he did on Morishima, who's about a 6'5", 350-pound Japanese wrestler. If you guys have never seen him, he did it to him, and basically it's an airplane spin where he takes and drops his arm and just holds him there with his shoulders.
Yeah, just like this. That's awesome.
And I'm waiting for him to debut it on TV. It's a perfect move for WWE, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't see anybody getting hurt off of it.
No. And then the next thing was the low light of the night by far. Another one of the AJ Lee, Vicky Guerrero segments. This time AJ Lee had doctor pictures of Vicky with superstars.
Why they doctor those pictures up by having a match? I'm sorry.
and it was just terrible. This is a rip-off Claire Lynch gimmick. It's horrible. It's the worst gimmick they got going now. The only thing that saved it, in my opinion, is Tamina came out, and you brought back...
Dominated AJ.
You brought back another really solid women's wrestler to put into the Divas division, which needs it badly, especially with Beth Phoenix gone.
With Beth gone, they need another powerhouse worker. Heel though, they're stacking a heel deck and really leaving you with two main faces, AJ and.
Our name of the show is Heel Heat, GR.
Oh, I know, but you have to have a great heel. You have to have some faces, and they only have two faces.
I don't care.
Feed
them heels.
Feed me more. All right, off that travesty, we're going to go to the world title match, which was actually, I think, better than their first showing, Big Show versus Sheamus.
And I got this right. You got this one wrong. You picked Sheamus.
I did.
I think I picked Show, and it was a good match, really well worked match. Actually, Sheamus did win, didn't he? Because they changed it to a disqualification.
I'll give it to you. He got the pin, so you get that one.
But it was kind of a Dusty Rhodes ending, if you guys are familiar with the terminology.
Dusty Road.
But they ended it kind of controversially, so that way they can have another pay-per-view match. It was a decent match. I like Gary said. I think the last one was better because it was a clean finish.
Yeah.
But it was right on par with it. These guys are absolutely great together. Show is building up Sheamus to levels he's never been before, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I think Show's probably towards the end of his career, and it's good to build up another guy. The thing is Sheamus going to be built up as a big babyface against this and still be crushed under CM Punk's spotlight.
Yep.
That's the thing.
And then the next match of the night was Team Foley versus Team Ziggler. Again, another one that Gary got right, I got wrong. I thought Miz was going to be the sole survivor based on the fact that he was on the poster for the pay-per-view. But Gary picked it. Dolph Ziggler was a sole survivor.
And the thing is, I'm surprised, and we talked about ADR a minute ago. He impressed the shit out of me last night with that big bump he took and still finished the match.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw it, it was a pretty nasty bump. They didn't put a lot of replays of it. I think they only did like one.
Yeah.
And I mean, he got dropped on the back of his freaking head and still finished the match. I can't say too much about it. Just awesome.
It was a good match. I think, honestly, this should have been the main event because it is Survivor Series, and this is a Survivor Series match. And I'm a fan of the traditional Survivor Series matches, and I think you are as well.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I was a little bit let down was David Otunga taking Cody Rhodes' spot. You liked it, I know. I thought they could have put somebody better than him in there.
Oh, right now, who do you got better right now that would fit?
Jack Swagger returning, Mark Henry returning. Mm-hmm. There's two guys right there.
I think they're waiting for Swagger. I don't know what they're planning for him, but I've heard he's changed his look up a little bit. I think there's something different. I think they're going to wait for it to do a real big debut, not just, well, here, take this spot.
Well, what's bigger than debuting at a summer or Survivor Series?
Oh, I understand.
Undertaker,
but a bigger build-up. I think they need. They're working for a build-up for his first match.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I did like the fact that Ziggler was a sole survivor, and I did read that this is the turning of Randy Orton is going to happen through this.
Yes.
And that's two big things. You got the next guy's going to be one of the next world champions, and one of the best heels there is together.
And it's something that we talked about last night. A lot of people shit on Randy Orton, but I really don't. I don't understand why. And I'm guilty of it myself. I think a lot of us fans take Randy Orton for granted because really, he's actually a really great wrestler, and there's nothing you could want more from the guy.
My opinion on it is a lot of people expect more out of Orton. And he can do more.
But what more can you want?
Well, that's what I'm saying is...
He's never been a great talker, and he probably never will.
Honestly, I think he's a better talker now than what he was when he was the little pretty boy. I think his character doesn't need to talk. I think they need to bring him back to the shade of gray, not exactly heel, not exactly face, but what they started to transition him in until they went and made him a joke when he jumped up in the air like Mario. As soon as he did that, I was done with it. You seen that when he did the jumping jack thing on SmackDown last year? I was like, I'm done with this. I was like, you just made yourself a cartoon character. I think he probably did it because he was pissed with the way they were going with him. I still say he's one of the best heels in the business. Not quite as good as Punk is.
I think Randy Orton's a guy kind of like Diamond Dallas Page, which is funny because they got the same finishing move, where when you look back on his career after he's done, you're going to respect him a lot more than you did when he was there.
Honestly, I think he would be perfect if, I know he's had the championship more, but if he was Punk's number one. Just like his dad was Piper's number one. Could you imagine them two together? I think that would be an awesome combination.
Right. But we got another thing to talk about. Punk might have a group.
Exactly. The main event of the evening was CM Punk versus John Cena versus Ryback. And actually, I have to say, I love the way they worked this match through the whole thing.
It was a very well-worked match. John Cena put on his A-game. Ryback, they masked all of Ryback's insufficiencies. Every time it looked like Ryback was about to get blown up, there was something that got him out of the match to give him a breather. I think Punk was the cog that worked it the best. Because he was the one, he looked like he was a ring general in there, controlling everything that was going on, and it came out really, really well. There's been a lot of controversy over the ending when the three NXT guys jumped the railing and attacked Ryback. My opinion, Ryback wasn't going to take the pin in this, and he couldn't win in this because he's not built enough to be champion yet. Exactly. So something had to happen to him. I was shocked. I didn't know these three guys were going to jump, and the three guys we're talking about are Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose, we've been waiting for over a year for Dean Ambrose to come on the big show.
Well, Dean Ambrose is absolutely a wonderful, great wrestler. If you guys get a chance to see any of his stuff, he why is it slipping my mind? John Moxley is what he worked at in the Indies. Look up John Moxley, see some of his promos, some of his videos, and you'll understand why Dean Ambrose is a guy that the whole internet is buzzing for, because he's just that good. He's CM Punk 6 years ago.
And that's the thing.
And then
too.
Seth Rollins as well. Seth Rollins.
Trained by Punk.
Seth Rollins is the old Tyler Black from Ring of Honor world champion, and he was groomed since he was 19 to be a world champion. Both of these guys are totally tremendous, and the other guy, Roman Reigns, is the brother of Rosie, aka Matt Anoa'i, who is Sika's son.
Mm-hmm.
How can you go wrong with that?
No, exactly. I was shocked by the end. I think everybody's been shitting on the end of this pay-per-view. Bullshit. It was the best ending they could have had. I think, would you say this is probably one of the best endings of the year?
I absolutely loved the ending. I thought it was great. They took Ryback out of the picture, so Ryback didn't have the job. The right guy took the pin. The right guy won. CM Punk is now at 365 days.
1 year, baby. And I was very impressed with the way they did it. I like the fact that, like you said, they isolated Ryback. Punk ran the match. Savage-esque. You know, I always compare him to Randy Savage. I'm sorry. George thinks he's more of a Piper. Like I said, he's a mixture between both, I think.
You know what? He's CM Punk.
How about that?
He's neither. He's his own entity. I honestly think, in my opinion of CM Punk, he's the next progression of, you had Roddy Piper, and then I think that progressed to Jake the Snake Roberts, who then I think progressed to Raven, who progressed to CM Punk. I think that's the tree it goes down.
I like it. And I'll tell you right now, CM Punk's 35 years old, and he's Austin without the injuries.
Yeah.
I see there's nothing but high end for him. Where do you see him in 10 years?
Still holding the world title, beating Bruno.
It would be great. Everybody could just have the world title flagging around.
Yeah, go ahead, trade that around. Punk for 7-year reign. How awesome would that be?
It'd be spectacular, because he could go heel face back and forth, and then keep the title on. The man, he lives, like he said in the promo, his only addiction is wrestling, and you can see it. He loves the business.
Are you going back to ECW, GR?
I mean, honestly, does that fit him? What fits that? The man?
I mean, he's great. He really is. The only person I think on par with him right now is Daniel Bryan.
In ring, Daniel Bryan. On the mic,
Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is the apps. They're both 5-tool players.
I think we're looking, if they do the Attitude Era again, that we're looking at a new Rock Austin.
There you go. And basically, we gave it overall. What do you give it out of 5 stars?
So impressed with the ending, I give it 5. And usually I'm critical, but
I gave it a 4. The only thing that brought it down from 5 was the AJ Vicky.
You know segment. What? I'll agree with you. I'm gonna go with a 4. I was so impressed with the end that I forgot that travesty.
Yeah.
Tamina helped it out, though. I mean, I honestly think she did.
Overall, it was a great show. I liked it a lot. We both got a lot of our picks right, some of them wrong. But let us know what you think about the show, if you liked it or not. Hit us up, put us on our Facebook, our Twitter. Put it down where?
Down there.
Right down there in the comments. Milky Cabrera just hit another one. Just shoot up before you hit, and you'll be all right. But anyway, that's all I got to say about the Survivor Series show. Anything you need to add?
Impressed. Gary Rhodes, everybody.
And I'm George Coles, and this has been Heel Heat.